Hello, welcome back to PHP course. In this lecture, we're going to look at PHP constants. So the objective of this lecture is to learn how to define constants in PHP using the define function, and also to explore the magic constants and their uses. So what are constants? Constants are identifiers for values that cannot be changed during the execution of a script. They are useful for storing fixed values such as configuration settings or predefined values. Key things to note with constants is that they do not start with a $sign, unlike variables, and they are globally accessible throughout the script, and they are immutable, meaning they cannot be changed after they've been defined. So let's start by looking at how to define constants using the define function. So this is the syntax for the define function. It has three parameters, that is name, which represents the name of the constant, then the value that represents the value of the constant, then we have the case insensitive. So this one is a boolean that determines if the constant name is case insensitive. The default is false. So this is optional. So we're going to start by defining a site name. Let's assume this is our site name. So define function. Then we start with the site name. This is the name of the constant. Then followed by the value. So the value we can include Smartech Institute. Then we can close this. So we can define another constant, that is database name. So we can insert the value Smartech database. So we can have another constant, maximum users. So this can be an integer. So we can echo this to get the values. So we can come here and echo site name. We can also echo the database name. Then we can echo the maximum users. So let's run this. So the site name, that is the Smartech Institute, then the database name, that is Smartech database, and the maximum users 100. So we can also define constants using const. So let's say we can define const pi. So we can give the value of pi as 3.14. So if we echo pi, we should get 3.14. Refresh this. So we are getting the value of pi right there. So now let's look at magic constants. So the magic constants are predefined constants in PHP that change depending on their context. They are useful for debugging and providing information about current state of a script. So we'll begin with the line constant that outputs the current line number in the code. So I'm going to have it here. So let's echo. So this is going to output the current line. So currently we are on line 7 of the script. So we are getting a 7 right here. So meaning we are on line 7. So I've added the HTML line breaks to make our outputs more readable. So the next constant we're going to look at is the file constant, which is going to output the full path and file name of our script. So I'm going to have it down here, and I'm going to add the line break. So right now we are getting the full path where our script is stored. So another constant that we can look at is dir, which returns the file directory. We can have it down here. So let's run this. So there we go. So we have our directory right there. So the next constant we're going to look at is the function constant. So this is going to return to us the current function name. So we have our function right here, the function my function. So we'll echo the current function name that we are in. So let's add a break right here. So let's run this. So we should get the name of the function. So there we go. We have this returning my function name is my function. So this is the name of the function. We can add another break down here. So this is where we are executing the function that returns the name of the function right here using the function constant. So the next thing we're going to look at is the class constant. So this returns the current class name that we are in. So let's have a class right on top here. So we have the class my class, and inside my class we have a function name that is show class name. So that's where we have the echo statement that returns the class name using the class constant. So this is where now we have the object defined, then we use the object method to echo our statement. So we'll be looking at objects in the later tutorials. So let's add a line break right on top of my function. So let's run this. So we have class name is my class. So we are getting this output after executing this method. Remember, this method is the function that is inside my class. So another magic constant that we are to look at is the method constant. So this returns the name of the current class method. So remember, this is also a method, the show class name. So you can also echo the method name here. So this method is going to return for us the name of the method that we are in. So it should return show class name. So we are still going to be executing this method show class name. So let's save this and run the script. So we have the method here. So method name is my class show class name. So that's how we output the current method name. So we can also have a line break right here so that this can be clear. So let's run it again. So we have the method right here, my class show class name. So the next magic constant that we are going to look at is the namespace constant. So let's first define the namespace for this file. So we'll come here and say namespace, then we can say my namespace. So we can use the namespace constant to return the name of the current namespace. So let's just come on our method show class name and add namespace is, then the namespace constant. So of course we are still executing the show class name method. So let's refresh. So we are having the namespace name defined right there. And also notice that once we've added the namespace, we have the class name now starting with the namespace, then followed by the class name. In conclusion, constants are essential for storing fixed values and ensuring immutability in your PHP script. By understanding and using both user-defined constant and magic constant, you can write cleaner and more maintainable code. Experiment with defining constant and using magic constant to familiarize yourself with their behavior. So thank you. See you into our next video lecture.